Assalamu alaikum, sabah al-khair jami'an. Thank you very much for the organizing committee to accept this abstract. I'm going to talk about our experience and for the transition in Cash Hospital, and I have no financial disclosure for this kind of presentation. I will start my background by addressing and highlighting the importance of transition in real life practice by going through a few cases. This is Marzouk. He's currently 23 years old, and I just received his graduation from the university last month. He suffered from a long-standing lupus disease with a frequent remission and relapses. His main problem was adherence and poor self-esteem. However, eventually a good outcome. The second one is a 23 young lady who suffered from a long-standing systemic GIA. She is my first case to try on anakinra. She suffered from a long-standing bilateral wrist disease, and currently she's on adalimumab. However, she managed to succeed in her life, finished university, working, married, and this was her first baby last summer. The third scenario is Sarah, who came to our adolescent clinic in 2021. She was diagnosed to have systemic GIA, a very troublesome systemic GIA complicated with MAS. And when we received her, she was apparently suffering from a long-standing subclinical depression. In the first and second visit, we acknowledged that she has anorexia nervosa. We had to admit her to the hospital for a month to treat her from that. Eventually, very good outcome. And now she's an MIT student. However, not always we have a very good outcome. This patient, last week, we received an information that she passed away. Why? She suffered from lupus since the age of 11 years. It was very bad lupus with multiple phases, serositis, nephritis, myositis. She continued to have an active disease even during her transition to the adult. Unfortunately, she had very bad course during the transition and transfer. Eventually, she was admitted in a very severe COVID infection, suffered from multiple respiratory arrest, and then she went into severe ischemic hypoxic encephalopathy with multiple infections, and recently, unfortunately, died. So what is transition? It's a purposeful, planned movement of adolescents and young adults with chronic physical and medical conditions from childhood-centered care to an adult-oriented healthcare system, whereas the transfer is a one-time event in which adolescents are handed from childhood care to adulthood care. Every child with a chronic illness moving from the child care to the adult care is susceptible for gaps in continuity of care, self-management challenges, and stable medical conditions, increased rate of treatment dropout and non-adherence, sometimes persistent dependency on their parents, increased disease morbidity and complications, and even increased mortality like what you have seen. They are susceptible to even their education being affected. They might lose school and mental health issues and risky behaviors as adults. In 2017, EOLAR Press endorsed their standards and recommendation for transition of young people with juvenile onset traumatic diseases backed with the good clinical evidence over the past 20 years. So what are the objectives for our transition program? Is to provide high quality, coordinated, uninterrupted health care, which is patient-centered, developmentally appropriate, culturally competent, flexible, responsive, and comprehensive, and to promote skills, especially in communication, decision-making, self-care, independence, and advocacy as young adults, and to maximize their lifelong functioning and potentials. We appreciate that there is certain barriers in our country, in our healthcare centers, especially that the transition concept is not very well acknowledged. The age of pediatric age is variable, whether it is everybody agree 14, 16, or 18. The variability of the different healthcare system in different sectors. Education in general, in generic health, adolescent healthcare, both over both sides in pediatric and adults. Resources and funds, and parenting styles also, and family involvement. It's very important, the parenting in this process. So in this transitioning case experience, it's a observational study reflecting on the effectiveness of what we have established as our own center transition pathway. So we sat with our colleagues in adult healthcare rheumatology, and we decided about our transition policy. We wrote how we are going to do this process, and in this process, we have acknowledged certain issues, what are our objective from the transition, and how we are going to conduct it, including transition readiness assessment, transitioning goals for the patient and the parents, and what is their, and how to prioritize actions during this plan. And then we have to prepare what will happen in the emergency situation, who's going to look after the patient during the transition, adult or pediatric. And the preparation for those young kids is to make them ready for the adult model of care, which is really challenging, and to decide with them what is the time for transfer. It doesn't depend on their age, rather than being ready to move to the adult care. And finally, we complete the transition by having a transfer medical report. So this is it, signed by all the stakeholders, pediatric and adult, what they call it, nurses, pharmacists, and finally medical services. So what we do, we receive patients in adolescent rheumatology clinic between the age of 14 and 15. And during this time, we initiate the transition concept, and we do assess the readiness for transition and transfer by a standardized questionnaire. And then we go over the different challenges, including their disease activity, their psychosocial issues, and we discuss what we are going to do during this time, prioritizing it, whether it is disease activity, whether it's a psychosocial issues. And then we write together what we are looking for during a year, 2 years' time. And then when the patient is ready, we discuss how we are going to do it. We identify the adult rheumatologist. We send the patient to the adult rheumatologist. He is received, and then we end up by a shared care over some time. Sometimes it extends to 1 year. Sometimes it extends to 2 to 3 years during this shared care. During this time, the adult, from the medical care point of view, is the one who is in charge. We in the pediatric, we are at the backup, and we provide the psychosocial support, as well as trying to bridge the gaps in the clinical care. By the end of every step, which might take few years, we make sure that all these points has been addressed in an appropriate way. At the back, we have a multidisciplinary team members involved, including mental health, nurses, rehabilitation, and even pharmacy. And then the final step, which is this transfer completion, where we make an exit visit with a satisfaction survey. These are the outcomes that we try to capture: dropout from the medical care, drug adherence, disease knowledge, disease activity, self-care skills, risky behaviors, especially smoking, psychosocial issues, especially anxiety and depression, and education. Still, we are far away from looking at the long term after a few years about the risky behavior, how prevalent it is, the disease activity and damage, education, vocation, and social life impact. So in summary, between 22 and 23, we had 151 cohorted in the adolescent clinic. We managed to have successful transition for 60% of them. The mean age of transition was 16.5. And in this table, you can see that in 2022, we managed to transit 50%, same as in 23, a total of 60%. We lost a follow-up for one patient. Almost 50% of them, they were transitioned and transferred to adult care provider in the same hospital. We have 6 of them transferred to another medical centers, because one of the unique things in our hospital that we do accept non-National Guard patients. However, not all of them, they will continue with their eligibility in the medical adult rheumatology practice. We look after what they call it, idiopathic uveitis, and these patients are not cared by the adult rheumatologist, so they end up completely with the adult ophthalmologist. Hematology, for example, the antiphospholipid syndrome, primary antiphospholipid syndrome is looked after by adult. Compared with pediatric, we have a shared care between pediatric rheumatology and hematology. Almost 60% of them, they have been transitioned in a remission state on medication. 27% they were off medications, and 10% they were in a minimal disease activity. Mortality, we have one patient, the one I told you about. One of the primary care or preventive medicine strategies that we try to imply is to acknowledge the vaccination missing during the childhood. Whoever had lost or missed some vaccination, we try to make it up for them. At the same time, recently we have an adolescent-based vaccination by the hospital, and we try to implement that. We were successful in 90% of them. Majority of patients, they were under the GIA, as expected, and much less in lupus and other connective tissue diseases. This is the readiness assessment, which with different domains, and this is the way we receive the results. And you can see from the results that there is definitely, in spite of what we do on daily practice, there is gaps in the care, especially when it comes to knowledge, independency, and in looking after themselves. And yeah. I'm almost closing. So what are the short outcomes? Almost all have had a stable disease control at the time of transition and transfer. We have one death, and the psychosocial issues with anxiety and depression has been acknowledged and defined in 26% of the cases. And education and vocation, 3 did not complete their higher education. Drug adherence and self-poor image was the most encountered problem. Risky behavior was identified during the clinic, especially smoking and drug abuse, and was taken care of immediately. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Wafa. We have room for one question, if any. تفضلي دكتورة.
يعطيك العافية دكتورة وفاء. Great implementation of the transition concept. It's practically, I would like to ask you, during the transition clinic visits, do you allow the patient to come by his own, alone in the first few minutes, then their parents? What's the mechanism of that? And also the multidisciplinary team, is that after you're interviewing the patients, you communicate with each other, or in the same time? Just practically, if we really need to know to implement this.
Right. Currently, we are not doing the multidisciplinary team together. However, this is the next step, is to have the multi-D meeting in one setup. So, because one of the benefits of this program is that we have an adult rheumatologist who went and did adolescent rheumatology. So she is going to be our counterpart in the adult rheumatology practice. And this is what we are going to, I'm planning to have a multi-D clinics in the adult side rather than in the pediatric. Regarding patients attending alone, this is very important step, and we do encourage it from day one. So the parents that they come, but they can wait outside. So we have to allow separate attendance either for the parent or for the child. Sometimes we need to sit with the parent alone. Because some issues has to be discussed with the parent. Parenting here is very important for a successful end.
Thank you, Dr. Wafa.
لا.